This is Solving Equations 2, Part 1, and this is the first example of 2 examples. In this question we are given the information on screen. We have a rectangle. We are told that the length of the rectangle is represented by 3m plus 14 and the breadth of the rectangle is represented by 5 minus 4m. We are given one other piece of information, and that is that the perimeter of the rectangle is represented by 10 brackets 5 plus m close brackets. The question asks us to figure out the length and breadth of the rectangle. In order to find out the length and breadth of the rectangle, we first must know m. In order to find out what m is, we must form an equation, then solve the equation for m, and then once we have done that we can substitute our m back into the breadth and the length to figure out our answers. But how do we form our equation? Well, we already have an expression for the perimeter. What we need to do is form another expression for the perimeter, then we can make both of those equal and form our equation. So if you think back, the perimeter of an object is the distance round the outside. So if we start up in the corner, then the perimeter of the rectangle is along the length down the breadth, back along the length, and finally back up the breadth to our starting point. So a perimeter is represented by 3m plus 14 plus 5 minus 4m plus 3m plus 14 plus 5 minus 4m. This can be written down in slightly shorter form. As we saw, we have 2 of the length. So we have 2 brackets 3m plus 14, and we also have 2 of the breadth, which is 2 brackets 5 minus 4m. We now have an expression for the perimeter of the rectangle. We were given another expression for the perimeter of the rectangle at the start, 10 brackets 5 plus m, so that means these two expressions are equal. 10 brackets 5 plus m. We now have our equation. It's just a case of solving for m. If we think back to our previous equation examples, we know our next step is to remove the brackets. So first of all, 2 times this bracket. So we have 2 times 3m, which is 6m. 2 times 14, which is 28. Then we have 2 times 5, which is 10. And 2 times minus 4m, which is minus 8m. On the right hand side we have 10 times 5, which is 50, and 10 times m, which is 10m. Our next step is to simplify where possible. So we have some like terms. We have 6m minus 8m, which is minus 2m. And we have 28 plus 10, which is 38. The right hand side stays the same for the minute, 50 plus 10m. Now that we have simplified, what we need to do now is put our letters on the left and our numbers on the right. Looking along the line, First thing that needs to move is the plus 38, and on the other side we have plus 10m needing to move. Writing down the things that are staying where they are, we have minus 2m on the left hand side and 50 on the right hand side. The first thing that's moving is plus 38. Change side, change sign. It becomes minus 38. And we have plus 10m, which becomes minus 10m. Minus 2m minus 10m is minus 12m. And 50 minus 38 is 12. Minus 12m equals 12. So we want m on the left hand side. So the minus 12, which is timesing on this side, comes over and divides on the other side. So we have m equals 12 divided by minus 12. The first thing we can do is write down the sign of the answer. A positive number divided by a negative number gives us a negative answer. And 12 divided by itself is 1. So our answer is m equals minus 1. So are we finished? Well, the answer is no. We now know m. So what we can do is we can substitute this in to the length and the breadth. So first of all, the length was 3m plus 14. So that means 3 times m, and we know m is minus 1, so that's 3 times minus 1 plus 14. 3 times minus 1 is minus 3 plus 14. Minus 3 plus 14 is 11. And that's our final answer for the length. The length of our rectangle is 11. Similarly, we can substitute m equals minus 1 into our breadth. So our breadth was 5 minus 4m. We now know m is minus 1, so that's 5 minus 4 times minus 1. We have 5 minus 4 times minus 1, so we need to do our multiplication first. Minus 4 times minus 1 is plus 4, so that's 5 plus 4, and 5 plus 4 is 9. So our final answer for our breadth, the breadth of our rectangle is 9. And that's our final answers.